What's up, world? This is the Fantasy Bruddas. It's our first podcast. Doing this with me and my brother Sterling Phillips. Just a little background on us. The reason we're doing this, it's just fun for us. We feel as though this can be an informative and just give people advice on people to take, what to do with their waiver wire pickups and things like that. Me personally, I've been in 2 IDP leagues, dynasty leagues actually, going on about 4 years. 2 12-team PPR leagues, and then 1 standard league for like the past 6 years. So I feel like I have a good grasp of what I'm doing. I've won 3 out of 4 championships in the IDP league. Other leagues I've played multiple years, and you know how fantasy football is. But no further ado, I'll introduce my brother Sterling.
What's up, guys? This is Sterling Phillips. Just give you a little bit of background on me. I've been playing fantasy football for over a decade. I mean, like all of us, love NFL football, love playing fantasy, and me and my brother kind of made it a lifestyle. When football season rolls around, lightens your mood, makes you just can't wait until the next game, and just give you kind of a synopsis of my fantasy experience. I've been in top 1 or 2 in almost every league that I've played in, except a few. I want to say my brother's got me in the Dynasty League. I'm really trying to make strides in the Dynasty realm. But, I feel like this year my team might be all right. So we're going to be going over a few topics today. First, we're going to be going through, our top, especially for Dynasty and rookie keeper leagues. We're going to be going over our top rookies that we feel that are going to make a major impact, not just this year, but for years to come.
Well, what we're going to do is, as far as the rookie picks, I got one guy that I think is going to be a beast, 100%. And I got one guy who might not be going into the right situation to make an impact the first year, but that I think is still a good player. And then I think my last rookie is like my sleeper guy that not many people are talking about. He's actually created a pretty big buzz recently, but I still consider him a sleeper. So you want to go out, you want to say your first for sure guy, Sterling, or you want me to go?
Yeah, I'll start with my first for sure guy. And
all right.
Guy out of University of Auburn, currently going around 7 to 9 range in 12-team keeper leagues. Or should I say
rookie pick, or is this
as a rookie pick?
Okay,
yeah, sorry, not cool. Keeper leagues, but should I say dynasty leagues that you have the rookie draft.
Right.
It's Kerryon Johnson. He lands himself in Detroit, and I can't say it's a favorable situation. One, because they have LeGarrette Blount, they got Theo Riddick. Who's the other cat from Nebraska? Abdullah. I mean,
he still got a lifeline up there.
Yeah, I'm surprised they kept him. But I think Kerryon Johnson is the most complete back. With LeGarrette there, he's not going to be seeing a ton of goal line carries, but I see him being able to make a lot of big plays. And we know Theo Riddick, he's made of glass at times. I mean, I want to say last year was one of the first years I've seen him go through a full season. I mean, that's honestly rare, Mr. Theo Riddick. But, we talk about a guy that can do it all, run between tackles, catch out of the backfield. I mean, in his last preseason game, he almost eclipsed 80 yards of total offense, had 4 receptions, 30 for 36 yards. And how many times did he actually run it? I want to say it was maybe he had 8 rushes for
like 30, 40 yards, something like
that.
Yeah,
I mean, just a very complete all-around back. I can, if things go his way, we can see him probably getting the lion's share of the carries probably midway through the season. But this is fantasy football, and anything could happen. So who would be your first, your for sure guy?
Yeah. I mean, I like that pick of Kerryon Johnson because the dude was an absolute beast at Auburn. Just watching him in the SEC, I think he ran for like 1,700 yards, caught the ball at the backfield. Like, that's a great pick. Only thing is just like, it's a crowded backfield. You know, LeGarrette Blount is the fucking touchdown vulture himself. But I think that's a good pick. My guy actually is a wide receiver though. Out of Carolina, went to Maryland. DJ Moore. As you already know from just us talking, I'm super high on this guy. just to give you like his measurables. I know the combine is so overhyped, but like I couldn't help but recognize the comparisons to Odell Beckham. I mean, this guy DJ Moore, 6 feet 210, 4'4", 240, 15 reps on the bench, 39.5 vert, 132-inch broad jump. And just to give you comparison as far as Odell Beckham, Odell was 4'4", 340, 7 reps on the bench, 38.5-inch vertical, 122-inch broad jump. So he lost to DJ Moore in all those categories. But Odell was a little bit faster in like the 3-cone drill and 20-yard shuffles and 60-yard shuffles and stuff like that. So Odell might be a little bit quicker in short space, but like they both have their own, they have an explosive nature about them. And then just looking at the first preseason game, I mean, the guy had 4 receptions for 75 yards on 6 targets. The talent's there, the measurables are there, and like I said, very similar to OBJ. I see, if you just watch his highlight tape in Maryland, I mean, the guy has great run after catch ability, and that's a direct line to success in the NFL, to be able to make plays for yourself. He also does really good in short to intermediate throws, which is great for Cam. You know, Cam, he's come under scrutiny from Kelvin Benjamin about not being the most accurate quarterback. I think Kelvin I think he was yapping a little bit too much because Cam's a good quarterback. But I mean, we got to be honest. Like, he's not Drew Brees, he's not Aaron Rodgers, right? Like, so maybe a really good receiver.
Think about the success that Cam and Steve Smith had, especially in Cam's early years. Yeah. We're talking about a tough receiver that can run down the field and win those 50-50 balls, even being just 6 foot. 100%. I mean, I DJ Moore's, I mean, he's going to be a problem. I see him really taking steps during his rookie year, and I mean, you're able to draft this guy. You're talking about an all-pro receiver, especially heading into his second year. So
100%, man. Like Steve Smith, I mean, he even gave him the nod. And to get the respect of Steve Smith, you got to be a problem, dude. Steve Smith said the Carolina Panthers could not replace me until this day, and that was when they drafted DJ Moore. He gave this kid props. So I think that this kid's going to be nice. There's a lot of mouths to feed in the offense, but you know that they like to give the ball to the young playmakers. Like McCaffrey got hella touches last year. I think they're going to make a concerted effort to get DJ Moore the ball. So I think he can make an impact his first year and then beyond for sure. But yeah, moving on. So like, who's your questionable guy? You know, a guy that's talented but maybe going into a cloudy situation that might not make an impact first year, or that just has some question marks surrounding him.
My guy's going to be a young man out of Ole Miss, Jordan Wilkins. He's currently with the Indianapolis Colts. Sorry, I'm over here just messing up the damn team name. But I mean, I love Jordan Wilkins. Talk about a guy that can do it all. Catch it out of the backfield back in college. Can run in between the tackles. He's very elusive, but he's a downhill runner. I mean, very similar to a Matt Forte type style. I see him.
I like that.
I see him right now. He's listed as 3rd on the depth chart. With the Colts, but we know the one thing that stands out with this is that he's listed over Robert Turbin and Christian Michael. Those are 2 veterans that have been in the league for a while, and we all know Robert Turbin being the touchdown vulture that he is. It's good that he's listed above him. And then you have a guy out of North Carolina State that's listed above him, which is Nyheim Hines. And this guy, I mean, tons of talent. I mean, can really do it all, especially as a receiver. But he's going to be the 3rd down back. So that leaves Marlon Mack ahead of him. I actually would probably say Jordan Wilkins is, in my opinion, the 2nd string back, because if Marlon Mack goes down, Nyheim Hines isn't going to become the starter. It's going to be Jordan Wilkins. We all know this. So, and, you know, Marlon Mack has had his share of injuries. I really see Jordan Wilkins getting an opportunity to play. And if he can make the most of his opportunities, I think he's going to take the starting job and run with it. It's just, you know, it's literally a coin flip in fantasy football. But if he doesn't get his chance this year, and Marlon Mack doesn't show that he can be that every down back, he will definitely be the starter next year. So draft with confidence. Even if you're gonna have to he's at best um, a flex spot or just a backup running back. He's worth the stash. I think he's going to be a really good player, and I mean, you can probably get him in the second round and have him signed to a pretty cheap contract at that. So I really like Jordan Wilkins. So with that being said, so we went for sure guy, we went an on the cusp guy.
I haven't said my on the cusp guy yet.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So,
who's your on the cusp guy?
I mean, I like the pick of Jordan Wilkins. I mean, getting compared to Matt Forte, it's a fantasy football Hall of Famer, basically, man, especially PPR leagues. I mean, same problems. It's the same problems of rookies, man. Just like every rookie usually is coming, like a skill position is coming into a place where it's just like, look, there's other mouths to feed, blah, blah, blah. But of course, the great ones emerge, right? I mean, it's obviously year of the running back, but my second guy is another receiver just because I like the receiving class and where I'm at. And as far as the dynasty, I don't have a top 8-9 pick, you know? Like, you know, most of the running backs should go in the top 7 picks if they're smart about it, you know, depending on need. But my questionable guy is Courtland Sutton, man. I just think that this kid he's a beast. I mean, people that have coached DeAndre Hopkins compare this guy to DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, he's 6'3", 218, can catch everything according to practice. He's coming into a great situation with the Denver Broncos. I mean, it's a crowded wide receiving core. Like, have Demaryius Thomas, have Emmanuel Sanders, but both these guys are in contract years, and the way I see it, they're not going to keep both of them. I think if they were smart, they'd keep Demaryius, probably let Sanders go, and let Sutton fill in the second wide receiver spot next year. But I mean, they could let go of Demaryius. Like, I think just one of them is staying, and Courtland's going to fill a second position. So if he doesn't make an impact year one, like, definitely look for him to make an impact year two. You know, I just haven't seen nothing but good reports from just the people that are coaches, John Elway, quarterbacks, and dude, I mean, the guy, just watching his tape at SMU, the guy got talent, man. So that's my guy. That's my guy that I think is going to be a beast that has a cloudy situation.
Yeah, I'm just hoping he doesn't get lost in the shuffle. You know, I don't think he's going to play the slot at all. They have a Carlos Henderson that's actually really good player. Hasn't had a chance to take the field. But I see Courtland Sutton being, I mean, if given the opportunity, is going to be great. I really think that the Broncos got to steal with that one.
Yeah. But what I truly think they're going to do is split him and Demaryius out wide and put Emmanuel at his rightful position in the slot, man. And then have Emmanuel split out wide too as well. But when they have those three receiver sets, like have Courtland and Demaryius on the outside and then Emmanuel on the inside, and I think that'd be a pretty deadly attack. But yeah, man. So
yeah, I agree.
So who's moving on? Like who is your sleeper pick that not many people are talking about that doesn't necessarily have to make an impact year one, but like it got potential.
So I'm gonna, you know, we talk about the running backs, we talk about the receivers, and I think in fantasy he's a sleeper. I don't think in the NFL he's a sleeper, and I'm gonna go with the young man out of Oklahoma, Baker Mayfield. I think Baker Mayfield is a guy that you can get in the second round. You're talking about a guy that probably won't start. He might start this year. He might not. I think he's definitely going to get some playing time. Tyrod is good, but we all know Tyrod is going to probably lose some games. And if he loses too many games in a row, they're inserting Baker. I don't think it. If you've had a chance to watch the first preseason game, I mean, the guy was just tearing it up. I mean, looked poised in the pocket, making all the right throws. I mean, it was honestly unbelievable to watch. And I mean, we're talking about a guy that's a true leader. And, you know, given the opportunity, he's going to take it and run with it. We all know Tyrod's in there for pretty much just to groom him until he's ready to take over. But Baker's a real deal. If Tyrod just makes it to the end of the year, I still don't see Tyrod being the starter next year. They're going to insert Baker. And we're talking about a guy that's, I mean, who to compare him to. A lot of people say Drew Brees. A lot of people say he's one of a kind. Um, you know, we're talking, and a lot of people don't understand. Baker gets it done with his legs too.
He
I
does.
mean,
Yeah, he ran for a couple of first downs in that preseason game. That was like
yeah.
got out of bounds perfectly. It's impressive.
I mean, kind of. I would probably compare his running skills probably to like an Andrew Luck. I mean, a guy that's capable, but he's not gonna just bust the game open like a Russ Wilson or Cam Newton. But he can definitely get you about
down.
20. Yeah, he'll get you maybe 15, 20, 30 yards on a good day. Hey, that's just icing on the cake. But I really like Baker. If you're in need of a quarterback in the second round of your rookie draft, and Baker falls to you, and a running back's not there that you want, and you have questionable receivers, take Baker Mayfield. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. I mean, you watched the Hard Knocks, right? I mean,
well, 100%. That I agree with you 100%, man. I mean, I like Tyrod too, man. Like Tyrod, I watching Hard Knocks. Tyrod was in there at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, And then Baker wasn't there, and the coach was like, "Well, you got to do your work." And Baker was there early the next morning, man. So that's what kind of kid you're getting with Baker. You know what I mean? Like this kid, he started as a walk-on, was on the scout team, then he won the Heisman. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he went through a lot of stuff before he won the Heisman, but like, dude, he's a grinder. He wants to be the best. He's gonna get it done. And that's why it leads me to my sleeper. My sleeper is Antonio Callaway. I know I have 3 receivers, but like excuse my language, but this kid will be a fucking problem. Like he really will. Like just watch the first preseason game, dude. I mean, this dude's from Florida. He has close ties to Antonio Brown, the best receiver in the league. Like in people's opinion, one of the most complete receivers. Some people are Julio guys, some people are Odell's, but there's no argument that Antonio's one of the best. He has a close relationship with him, works out with him, whatever. And he's also a first-round talent that was drafted in the 4th just because he had off-field issues. Like, he could have been drafted in the 1st round. And it's obvious he already has rapport with Mayfield. Like you said, Mayfield will be the starter sooner or later. Whether it's at some point this year or next year, he's going to be the starter, and they already got some chemistry going. Mayfield put out a report saying how he respects Callaway. Callaway, bro, he can play multiple spots in the slot, outside. Flashed in the preseason game. Flashes on tape. You can tell how talented he is. And, like, you can just tell this fool is a dog. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna cause some problems in the league. So that's who my sleeper is. Like you can get this kid in the 2nd round. Some people draft him in the IDP league. Some people stay away from him because of the crowded. And then one more note is that, dude, watching Hard Knocks. I don't know if you watched the 2nd episode, dude. Corey Coleman, he came in Hugh Jackson's office like, why am I on the 2nd team? Like, how come y'all ain't playing me? Like, if y'all ain't playing me, then just trade me. Dude, a day later, the man was traded. That shows the confidence they have in Callaway. They wouldn't have traded a talent like Corey Coleman if they didn't know they had something with this kid. So I think that's my sleeper for the, late rounds.
Yeah, no, I like Callaway. He looks like he's, I mean, you talk about Callaway, you talk about Jarvis, you talk about Josh Gordon when he comes back, and I mean, I'm just gonna put on a little tidbit because I honestly think he's a sleeper in his own right. He's not a rookie, but he's a 2nd-year guy. David Njoku. Watch out for David Njoku. I mean, especially if Tyrod Taylor's at quarterback, we all know what Tyrod Taylor did with Charles Clay. David has the potential to have a big year, whether it's Tyrod or Baker. He's a phenomenal athlete. He really showed me something in the preseason games too, having 2 touchdowns for about almost 50 yards. I mean, just a little tidbit. Watch out for David Njoku and the Cleveland Browns. I'm hoping they can pull a 500 this year and turn that ship around.
Hey man, well, there's no doubt that they got the talent, and as long as Josh Gordon comes back, I mean they're even better. But yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, and then next coming up is going to be our mock draft. We're gonna pick just 2 spots in a mock draft, and we're just gonna give you advice on who to pick and what picks are bad that people are taking and stuff like that. We're gonna do this through ESPN.com. So we're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be right back. Yo, so we're back. The next segment, we're about to just do a little mock fantasy draft. This is 12-team PPR through ESPN. So those are the rankings that we're looking at. Right now, Sterling has a pick 3 and I have pick 4. So you obviously know we're going running back, right?
Of course.
I mean, can you go wrong with any of the top 4 running backs? Like, I feel like Bell, Gurley, Johnson, Elliott, like, you can't really go wrong with any one of those guys.
Oh yeah, at 3, I mean, a lot of people are high on David Johnson this year, but I'm gonna take Zeke. I think Zeke is going to be utilized way more in the passing game, and I mean, we already know he's, in my opinion, the best rusher. The best rusher of the football in the league, in my opinion. I think he's a physical runner, soft hands. I mean, you get him to it, he's going to do great things. So that's how I'm taking at 3.
I mean, the guy did average 5 yards a carry just a year ago. He averaged 4 last year, but obviously he had a lot of stuff on his mind and, you know, a lot of different things going on, right? But yeah, I mean,
Yep.
I don't dislike the taking of Zeke, but I would advise you to put some respect on David Johnson's name a little bit because, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with David Johnson either. I mean, I think he'll be a problem just as much. Not maybe Zeke has a better year, but I don't think you're going wrong by taking Johnson. But obviously, dude, if someone like you or someone that's a diehard Cowboys fan might take Zeke number 1, and if I got Gurley or Bell at 2 and 3, I ain't tripping, you know.
Of course not.
So we'll see. We'll see what these guys take. You know how it is in mock draft lobbies though. Some dudes will be taking Tom Brady with the first pick and stuff. Like that's annoying. But
hopefully this is a clean mock draft, and you know we don't have any foolery take place.
Yeah, sounds good. But yeah, it's about to get underway. I think we got about 6 seconds before the draft actually starts, and then my guy Coleman will get the first pick. Yep, here we go.
Well, he immediately took Todd Gurley. Like I said, you can't go wrong with either guy. Him, Bell. It's really a coin flip.
It's just who you want more. I mean, oh my, he took Johnson. He's making our job easy. You got to take Johnson with the second pick. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong. But I do like Bell, Elliott, and them before.
I mean, Bell. I mean, if Bell falls to you like that, I mean, you take him.
I mean, if I have to take Zeke at 4, I'm happy. So I'll take Zeke. So first 4 picks were Gurley, Johnson, Bell, and Zeke. See if we.
I love nabbing Bell.
What about Saquon? Man, does that hammy issue? Is that a red flag, or how do you see that working out?
I'm staying away from Saquon unless he just falls in my lap at say 8 or 9, or I would probably say 7, 8. I'd take him, but I'm not taking him 5. I'm not taking him 5.
Some dude took Fournette at 6. How do you feel about that?
Boneheaded. You have Antonio Brown just waiting.
Team whoever at 7 took Brown, which I
mean Brown dropping to 7 is pretty crazy.
I mean, but it's really not though, because there are a lot of solid wide receivers that you can get in the second round, and you want to get your number 1 running back.
But you're talking about a guy that's led the league in receiving, not 1, not 2, but 3 straight years. I mean, and when I say led the league in receiving, I mean led the league receiving fantasy wise. So I mean, in a PPR league, that's how can you take him? That means you're going to win that position more times than not every week.
Well, the guy that was just taken, Dalvin Cook, how are you feeling about him? Because I'm actually very high on Cook. I think he's going to be even better with a slight upgrade at quarterback. I mean, Keenum was balling last year, but I do think Kirk is the better quarterback at the end of the day, but I think Cook will be a RB1 clear cut this year. And I know you were having a couple, red flags on Cook, so I don't know.
I mean, I just don't like the injury that he's coming back from, but we've seen running backs come back from ACLs, but well, it's yet to be seen. I think that he's an outstanding catcher out the backfield. He has a nose for the end zone, and I mean, we saw what he did in that short sample size last year. I mean, the guy's a baller. I mean, as long as he can stay healthy, we're talking about Pro Bowl.
For sure. Well, hey, just so people know, we're only doing 6 picks with this mock draft. I mean, I have Zeke Elliott as my number 1 pick right now. Who's yours again?
I have Le'Veon Bell.
I mean, that's my favorite player in the NFL right now, Le'Veon. I mean, dude's an animal. He's won me a number of fantasy championships, but so I like both of our picks. But I'm about to come up at pick 21.
And I'm backdooring at pick 22. And we have some interesting picks around there. I mean, it's looking like Mike Evans, LaShawn McCoy, Devontae Adams.
Hold the phone. Hold up. I gotta ask you something. Are you taking LaShawn McCoy with the 23rd pick? Would you?
That's a negative.
I'm not. I'm staying away from LaShawn as well. That's one of the reasons why I'm not mad at people for reaching for a running back in the first round, even if it is Fournette, because there are a lot of question marks if you wait till the second round to get a running back. I mean,
there are a lot of question marks,
especially with the rankings. I mean, you got LaShawn McCoy, you got Jerick McKinnon that are ranked at these second round positions. Oh, man.
Wow, AJ Green is still on the board.
Yeah, I mean, like, how can I not take AJ?
You got to.
Yeah, I mean, I really do. So yeah, I'm taking AJ Green right now.
And I'm pretty much taking Mike Evans. I know the whole QB situation with Jameis is a little shaky, but we're talking about the guy who can flat out ball. You can't go wrong with him as your second pick. We're talking about a guy also that was going first round last year, so.
I mean, just too big, too talented. I mean, he's going to produce. You can't go wrong with Evans as your wide receiver 1. And I mean, you got wide receiver you over in your dynasty league. I mean, you got who? Beckham, Green, Evans, and Baldwin.
And Olsen.
So, I'm pretty scared.
But I got limited cap space. I'm hoping to sign a few running backs, but we'll see what happens.
That's the thing. Your team may be kind of top heavy, and you know how wide receiver games can be. They can be Odell type games where there's 10 receptions for 200 yards and 2 touches, or it can be just like 3 receptions for 30 yards.
So I'm coming back up at the 27th pick, and I'm really eyeing a guy by the name of T.Y. Hilton. If T.Y. Hilton or Larry Fitzgerald falls to me, I'm probably going to take Larry Fitz over T.Y., but you can't go wrong with either one.
Please take Larry Fitz over T.Y. Like, I'm actually begging you, please do. Because I like T.Y. all day. Only thing is, I already have Green, who has a week 9 bye, and so does T.Y. But, dude, I mean, the guy led the league in receiving. Not last year, but the year before when he had Luck. Luck's coming back. There was an unfortunate injury to Deion Kane, a promising guy out of Clemson. So that's just even. I mean, T.Y. is the guy up there, man. Just as number 1 receiver on a guy like Andrew Luck's team.
You took T.Y.
Yep. See, that's what I was talking about him.
Well, with that being said, I'm actually taking Gronkowski.
Oh, you are.
I'm taking Gronk. I mean, Gronk will win you the tight end position every week. Just about every week.
Him or Kelsey. I like Ertz a lot too this year.
I like Ertz too.
I'm going to be a little bit unpredictable right now. This might be a reach, but I really like this guy this year. I'm taking Demaryius Thomas.
Oh, I thought you were going to go Jordan Howard.
Nah. I do like Jordan Howard this year. I think he's flying but I think I can get a guy that gives me Jordan Howard production a round or two later. Maybe not exactly Jordan Howard production, but right under it. There's some RBs flying under the radar.
Yeah. So what's our next pick? It's probably in the 40s.
So what's your team like right now? Who you got on your squad?
I got Bell, Evans, and Gronkowski.
Okay, I got Zeke Elliott, AJ Green, and Demaryius Thomas. So I can't even.
So I'm definitely looking at getting a running back receiver combination. At 43, I wouldn't be mad at Jarvis Landry. I wouldn't be mad about saying Alex Collins, Jay Ajayi, and I mean, we all know the guy that I really like this year is Marshawn Lynch. I think he has real potential. If you look at those last 6 games that he played last year, I mean, we're talking about he was on with those 6 games, he would have been on track for over 1,000-yard season. Probably have a handful of touchdowns, but I think he has potential. I like him.
Yeah, using that logic, how can you hate on Dalvin Cook like you were earlier, though?
It's just more about the injury. I don't like players coming off injury, to be honest. Even though I like Odell, but running back coming off injury is it's tough for me to like.
We'll see. I mean, Cook has a lot to prove, but yeah, I mean, he had like almost 500 yards from scrimmage after 4 games. I mean, that's if you put a full healthy season, that's almost 2,000 yards with I don't know how many touches he had, like 3 in the first 4 weeks. So I think Cook.
You like Juju?
Oh yeah, I love Juju. Dude, they gave Martavis the boot like they gave Corey Coleman because they saw something in Juju, you know. So I think they know what they saw. But the real question is, what about Josh Gordon, man? He's still at number 38 overall in this PPR draft, and I'm just like, the dude hasn't been to training camp. He hasn't played in any preseason game. There's no indication that he's even coming back. Like, would you use the 38th pick on Josh Gordon?
Oh hell no! Oh.
Right? Like, who in their right mind is using 38th pick on Josh Gordon? I mean, that's literally boom or bust. There's no other. That's the epitome of boom or bust, right?
Oh yeah.
So I'm probably staying away personally.
Oh yeah, I'm staying away from him. Staying away from Alshon Jeffrey.
Alshon's hurt too, right? Isn't he hurt this right
dude,
now?
he might start the year on the PUP list.
Yeah, that's yeah. No thanks. All right, this kid right here though, man. Kenyon Drake. I'm at a crossroads with this guy, man, because Miami. Louis Riddick, I watched him on ESPN today, was just like, Miami's always that team under new management, under new quarterback, new culture, new this, new that, new backfield, It's just like they never seem like they know who they are. And I'm just like, are they going to be committed to running the ball? Are they going to be using a committee? Are they going to be – this is too many questions. So I don't know if I'm drafting Kenyon Drake personally. I see the talent from the last 4 games, the last year, last 6 games, whatever it was, but – I don't know. How do you feel about him?
I'm not a fan, but I think he has potential to be good. I mean, if you look at what he did last year as a starter? I mean, solid numbers, solid running in between the tackles, solid catching out the backfield, could find the end zone, but they didn't bring Frank Gore there to sit on the bench. They didn't draft Kellen Ballage to sit on the bench. These guys are going to play. So it's a committee that looks like it's forming, but it has potential to. He does have. I think if anyone has a chance to get the lion's share of the carries, it's him. So it's yet, in my opinion, it's yet to be seen.
All right, and like I said, I mean, people are staying away from Josh Gordon, as I would advise people to as well. If you had to pick, though, Kenyon Drake, Alex Collins, and Marshawn Lynch, you need a running back in the 4th round. Who are you taking?
I mean, maybe I'm a little biased, but I'm taking Marshawn Lynch.
That's who I'm taking, man, because that's who I'm about to draft right now. Because I need a running back. I'm in the 4th round. I got Zeke Elliott, AJ Green, and Thomas. I need a core running back that I think is going to produce week in and week out. And I mean, you saw Marshawn break off that run right at the end of the first preseason game. He still has a straight line speed. I think he's flying on the radar. So I'm taking Lynch.
Yeah, I like Lynch. Another guy I like, I mean, between Alice Collins and Jay Ajayi, I like both these guys. Um, Alex Collins, really showed that he can be the every down back for the Ravens. But Jay Ajayi is one of the most interesting picks because he's fallen down all the way to the 4th, 5th round, but he's the legit starter now. I think Jay Ajayi has potential to really have a breakout year with the Eagles. And in my opinion, I mean, out of all the backs that they have, he's the goal line guy. He's the goal line guy. So, I mean, look for his touchdowns to be up. He runs hard, very elusive. I mean, I honestly think he's going to have a 1,200-yard season, maybe 8 to 9 touchdowns. So we'll see what the defending Super Bowl champions can do this year.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, with Blunt not in the picture anymore, he'll definitely have more goal line carries. That's for sure. There are a lot of people that are going to be used. I mean, there's Corey Clement, and then there's Darren Sproles. But I mean, those guys are scat backs, Corey Clement
So
might get a couple.
I gotta ask,
Huh.
how do you feel about Brandon Cooks?
Brandon Cooks, I like him because I mean, dude, he's had 1,000 yards I think in the past 3 seasons. Like he produces, but like I don't want him as my wide receiver 1. I want him as my friend wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3 because he'll have those games that put you over the top and then he'll disappear some weeks, Versus like a guy like Crabtree or Jarvis Landry who's good for like 4 or 5 receptions every game for yardage and maybe a touch, Like I think Cooks would be a good wide receiver 3 or fringe wide receiver 2. I think he's gonna have 1,000 yards again, but he's got to show me a little bit more consistency before I'm just all in on him. But you're on the clock right now at number 51, and still nobody has drafted Josh Gordon. I can't say I'm surprised.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough pick right here. I mean, you got Marvin Jones, Kenyon Drake, Deion Lewis, Emmanuel Sanders, Michael Crabtree. It's a tough one.
Dude, real
I'm
quick.
probably gonna have to take Marvin Jones.
I like Marvin Jones.
I'm gonna take Marvin Jones. He's the best player available in my opinion, and I need a receiver. So, Marvin Jones, welcome to the squad.
Dude, I mean, this is hard. I mean, I'm at the number 52nd pick. Like, even though I was talking all that shit on Kenyon Drake, I mean, I could use some running back depth, and there's still some good wide receivers on the board later. But then again, I don't know. Should I take Crabtree or someone like that? I'm taking a chance on Drake this year. What he showed me in the last 6 games impressed me. He got the seal of approval from LaDainian Tomlinson. I just don't want people to be like reaching for Drake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want people to be like, that's my guy, and try to get him in the 2nd round, But if he falls to you at the 5th round, like, dude, and you already have 2 solid running backs, like, take a chance, man. He's going to be the main guy at least this year. So, I don't know when this is going to be our last.
Do you like
pick,
Jimmy Graham this year?
Of course I like Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, I'm very high on Jimmy Graham.
He's going to be very touchdown dependent, but I do think that he'll get those touches. That's the thing. I think Jimmy could easily have 10 touches this year. Not easily, but I think he could be pushing 10 this year.
I see it.
So, this is our last pick. You just want to recite who's on your team so far?
Yeah, so I have Le'Veon Bell, Jay Ajayi, Mike Evans, Marvin Jones Jr., and uh, Gronkowski.
Okay. So yeah, right now my team is Ezekiel Elliott, Marshawn Lynch, AJ Green, Demarius Thomas, and Kenyon Drake. So we're just gonna do one more pick. There's obviously a lot more picks going on in a regular draft, but just to conserve time and to get the main picks out, we were just gonna do these first six. So people that are still available right now going into the sixth round, we got like Michael Crabtree, Corey Davis, Duke Johnson, Isaiah Crowell, who that's a cloudy running back. I'm probably staying away from him. Greg Olsen, Delaney Walker. This is probably where I would take my tight end if Greg Olsen or Delaney Walker, Evan Ingram fell to me. I might take them.
Can't go wrong with any of those guys.
Ingram showed potential, man. Dude's an animal.
Yeah, I'm probably eyeing Pierre Garçon.
I'm very high on Pierre Garçon, man. I think he could be a wide receiver too, especially in a PPR league, man. He's gonna be a target hog in that offense. If Marquise Goodwin was doing that, I mean, Marquise is a burner, but like Pierre, he's underrated, man. He's an underrated guy. So I could take Evan Ingram right now. There's still a lot of tight ends I like. I'm probably gonna stay put on him, to be honest. And I'm probably gonna roll with either Crabtree or Garçon. That's a hard pick, though.
Oh yeah, I go Crabtree or Garçon right there, yeah. Or I mean even Duke Johnson. But
I like Duke, but there's just a lot of question marks in that backfield too.
Tons.
Uh-oh, the clock's counting me down. I'm going to take Pierre because I have him in another league, and I got sentimental value with Pierre. I believe in him this year.
And I took Crabtree. I was going to take the person you didn't take.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's the end of our little six-round draft. I mean, I got Ezekiel Elliott, Marshawn Lynch, AJ Green, Demarius Thomas, Kenyon Drake, and Pierre Garçon. So I think that's a solid little 6 rounds. You know what you?
Yeah, I actually like your team better. I typically, don't try to draft one of those tight ends that go high in the rounds. But I mean, Gronk just fell in my lap, so I decided to take a chance. But I still think I made out a pretty good team, and team definitely capable of doing some major damage.
For sure. Well, yeah, we're gonna take a quick break right now, and then we're gonna get into our segment. This is our trademark segment. Put some respect on his name. A guy that maybe gets overlooked in his current ADP standing or just in general. So we'll be back shortly. Thank you.
All right, guys. Fantasy Brothers back with y'all. We're about to do our last segment of the night. And that's put some respect on his name.
Put some respect on his name.
Basically, we're going to be going through a group of guys that we feel like coming into this coming season don't have the respect that they deserve, and some guys that, in our opinion, I wouldn't even call them sleeper picks, but guys that are being overlooked.
Just one guy, though. We're each doing just one.
What?
We're each just doing one guy, right? At least at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So my guy out of the from Oakland, part of the Raiders is Marshawn Lynch. All right, guys. Marshawn Lynch. I mean, we're talking about a guy that really turned it up the second half of the season. So from basically From November to December, I mean, we're talking about he didn't rush for under 57 yards. He had 5 touchdowns within that stretch. I mean, a guy that really turned it up and really got his legs underneath him after a slow, sluggish start of the season, early in the season. So, get a guy coming off of retirement, you knew it was going to take him a while to get his legs back underneath him. Taking a year off from doing anything, you're going to have some rust. It's just natural, right? But look at Marshawn Lynch to continue to use that momentum he used that he had at the end of the season and carry it over into this season. He's definitely the goal line back. He's capable of catching out the backfield, and I personally just like the guy. So if if he can fall,
hey,
if he falls to you,
I have a question. Wait,
what?
what about Doug Martin?
Well, Doug, I like Doug too, but I don't think Doug. It's tough because in the small segment that I got to see Doug play last year, he wasn't bad, but he did get bottled up. He did get hurt, and ultimately, it's Marshawn's backfield until Doug shows us something. I mean,
fair enough.
I don't think Doug is going. I don't think Marshawn's in jeopardy of losing his starting job anytime soon.
All right, I see. So that's your pick right there?
That's my pick, man.
All right, put some respect on Marshawn Lynch's name. He deserves it, man.
Put some respect on the man's name.
They should have gave him the ball, obviously, right? I mean,
we'll be talking about this until we're dead and gone.
Yeah,
I mean,
why
should have ran it on the 2-yard line. He's playing like
it was like 1st and goal. You know what I mean? It wasn't even like it was like a 4th down or like a 3rd down and 2, and they've been getting stuffed. Like they obviously should have gave the man the ball.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about some recent stuff. So my guy for put some respect on his name is none other than C.J. Anderson. I know, right? I mean, I'm not saying this is a guy that's going to be your RB1 or RB2, but, like, this guy could add some much-needed depth to a team. He could be possibly an RB2 if you just don't have anybody that you drafted at RB2. But I see him with, like, RB3 or flex potential or, like, backup potential, but could add some serious depth. He could contribute, like, a starter some games. I mean, the guy is currently being drafted at number 39 in PPR leagues behind people like Marlon Mack, Isaiah Crowell, and Rex Burkhead. And then basically all the rookies, Ronald Jones, Rashad Penny, guys that haven't even taken an NFL snap. Like, for real. And, like, this Anderson rushed for over 1,000 yards last year, averaging over 4 yards a carry, right? Had 28 receptions for 224 yards. And this is with who at quarterback? Who was quarterback for the Broncos last year? Please tell me.
Brock Osweiler.
Osweiler, Trevor Siemian, and Paxton Lynch.
How
many of those guys?
It was a committee at quarterback.
How many of those guys are starters right now?
0.
I mean, Osweiler should be out the league. And this guy was rushing against 8-man boxes and still had 1,000 yards. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, okay, you got Christian McCaffrey. That guy's a beast, right? PPR machine, get some rushes, whatever. But like, the Panthers didn't sign C.J. Anderson just to sit on the bench. You know, they signed him because they want him to be, honestly, to fill that Jonathan Stewart role that was there last year. That Jonathan Stewart could have played a lot better. He didn't. I mean, last year, Jay Stu, he had like 200 rushing attempts for about 680 yards, and then he had 8 receptions for 52 yards. I really think that Anderson will get similar usage like that. He'll probably get close to 200 carries, probably a few more receptions, and will get his fair share of goal line touches. Like he'll at least have 4 touchdowns next year. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that he should be an RB2, but I think he can get really solid flex numbers and be a guy that you add on to just a plug and play guy that might catch fire, and you never know what can happen injury wise. He's a capable starting running back. So just to say, like, being drafted as an RB39 is absurd, and I think that he would be a great value pick in the later rounds. So target him if he's available when you're very running back needy in later rounds.
Oh yeah, I love CJ Anderson. I mean, you can really get. I mean, fans not only standard leagues, PPR leagues, or even dynasty leagues. I would try to in dynasty leagues. I think he's definitely worth a 2 or 3 year deal. I don't think. What kind of contract did he sign with the Panthers?
Only a 1-year deal, I think. It was only a 1-year deal for about $2 million or something like that.
Yeah, so who knows? He might play himself into a long-term deal with another team.
Exactly.
I would draft him.
He's a young guy too. He's only 27. something like that. So he still has at least a good 3 years on him. He might get a 3-year deal after this if he plays his way. He has something to prove. And the Panthers like to run the ball down people's throat. I mean, they would like to take some pressure off Cam. So that's my guy. I mean, I think that kind of wraps it up for the first episode of Fantasy Bruddas. I like that we covered a few things. You know, we got a Facebook page. It's at Fantasy Brothers, FANTASYBRUDDAS, and we're gonna post this to SoundCloud and Facebook. So thanks for watching. We hope to get more listeners, and if you have any comments or questions, just hit us up on the Facebook page or anything like that. So thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks, guys. Till next time.